For years, Canadians could drive or fly into the United States with almost no fuss. A simple passport stamp, a quick smile at the border, and they were in. For most, it felt like visiting a neighbor, rather than entering another country. But 2025 has changed all of that. New rules, stricter enforcement, and expanded surveillance mean that ordinary Canadians are now being stopped more often, asked for extra documents, and in some cases, treated like foreign visitors rather than friendly neighbors. Some are being pulled into secondary inspections, questioned about their phones, or even told they need to register with U.S. immigration if their stay passes a certain time. What makes this especially frustrating is the lack of warning. Most travelers only discover these rules when they're already at the border. By the time the officer asks questions, searches devices, or denies entry, it's too late to correct the situation. For Canadians who once felt welcome, the border now feels tense, uncertain, and in some cases, intimidating. Today, we're breaking down 7 U.S. border rules every Canadian must know in 2025. From short visits at land crossings to long-term stays, device checks, and vehicle inspections. Knowing these rules could save you hours of stress, fines, or worse. Rule number 1, the 30-day registration rule. For decades, Canadians could spend months in the U.S. without worrying about paperwork. Snowbirds filled Florida beaches all winter, families vacationed in Arizona or California for weeks, and no one batted an eye. But in 2025, a new rule from the Department of Homeland Security has changed that. Now, Canadians staying more than 30 consecutive days must officially register with U.S. immigration. This isn't just an extra document in addition to your passport. If an officer asks for it and you don't have it, you could face questioning, fines, or even issues re-entering the U.S. in the future. The official reasoning is security, but for Canadians, it feels like a major shift. Something that used to be simple and routine, spending more than a month in the U.S., now comes with paperwork, rules, and risks. And it doesn't just affect long stays. Even Canadians crossing the border for a few days are noticing stricter checks. The message is clear. Staying in the U.S. longer isn't hassle-free anymore. Rule number 2, land crossings are no longer simple. Driving into the U.S. used to be easy. Trips to Buffalo, Detroit, or Vermont often felt like a formality. A quick glance at your passport, a friendly nod, and you were on your way. In 2025, things are different. U.S. Customs and Border Protection is now putting more scrutiny on land crossings. Routine trips for shopping, sports, or weekend visits can involve detailed questions, longer waits, and unexpected inspections. Officers now regularly ask questions about your plans, your accommodations, or even your employment. Why the change? Part of it is technology. License plate scanners, shared databases, and cross-border information sharing. Part of it is politics, an atmosphere of suspicion that affects ordinary travelers. For Canadians who drive across frequently, it's no longer a friendly visit. Every traveler is under the microscope, and every answer matters. Even simple trips feel like a test. Rule number 3, device searches are rising. Imagine this. You hand over your passport, answer a few questions, and then the officer asks you to unlock your phone. This scenario is becoming far more common in 2025. Between April and June alone, nearly 15,000 devices were checked at the border, a 21% increase from 3 months earlier. Phones, laptops, and tablets can all be examined. Officers can scroll through emails, photos, messages, and social media accounts. If you refuse, you risk being turned back or detained. Canadian travelers have few protections. Devices can even be seized for several days, and refusing to unlock them can affect future entries. Many Canadians feel targeted simply for carrying a phone. It's not just inconvenient, it feels invasive, as if your personal life is automatically suspicious. Rule number 4, hidden data sharing. While device checks are visible, the most significant changes happen behind the scenes. Canada and the United States have quietly expanded how much personal information flows between governments. Travel history, immigration records, and even previous visa applications can now be shared more easily. This means that if a Canadian traveler is flagged in one system, they may face scrutiny at the border, even if they've never had a problem before. Privacy advocates warn that this hidden pipeline gives US officers access to information that Canadians rarely know exists. Crossing the border is no longer just about what you say at the checkpoint. It's also about an invisible file that might already affect you. Rule number 5. Dual citizens face extra questions. Canadians with dual citizenship have long used their Canadian passport without issue. But, 2025 has brought increased attention to travelers who hold another nationality. Those with passports from countries on US watch lists may face longer interviews, more document checks, or even entry refusals, even if they show only their Canadian passport. What used to be a strength, having two citizenships, is now a potential liability at the US border. Even routine travel can feel stressful for those with dual nationality. Rule number 6. Vehicle inspections are rising. Crossing by car is also becoming, a lot more complicated. Secondary inspections are more common, and travelers report being pulled aside even when, honestly, nothing seems wrong. Cars are being checked thoroughly. Trunks, bags, glove compartments, and more. For Canadians carrying cannabis, even a faint odor or trace residue can trigger fines or entry refusal. For many, a simple drive across the border has become a gamble. What used to be routine is now stressful and unpredictable. Rule number 7. Short visits are no longer simple. Even quick trips for shopping, sports, or family visits are feeling the impact. Officers now ask routine questions about your plans, employment, and accommodations, even if your visit is just a few hours. Some travelers report being flagged in systems before they even approach the border. What used to take minutes can now take hours, with detailed questioning and multiple document checks. For Canadians, the US border in 2025 is no longer just a checkpoint. It's a place where rules can change without warning, and even routine visits carry risk. Crossing into the United States has changed dramatically for Canadians. From the 30-day registration rule to device searches, vehicle inspections, and hidden data sharing, the old days of simple, friendly travel are gone. Knowing these rules is more important than ever. A smooth trip now depends on preparation, awareness, and caution. Even short visits can carry new risks, and long stays require paperwork and careful planning. For Canadians traveling south in 2025, the message is clear. The US border is no longer routine. Understanding the rules and being ready can make the difference between a smooth crossing and hours of stress. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share.